Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of On Target. Today we're going to talk about audit prep, whether it's a SIP audit, whether it's an O&P audit. There's a lot of activities. Anybody who's been through an audit, you know that there's a lot of activities that occur leading up to an audit. But a lot of people really think of, oh, my audit starts when I get that 90-day notice or 180-day notice, whatever it is. Different regions do it differently, but your audit prep starts a year or 2 years before is really when it should start, which a lot of you may think sounds kind of crazy. But if you wait until even 6 months before your notice of audit, you're going to be behind the eight ball. Because when you start preparing for an audit is when you identify issues or shortcomings. You don't want to do that really close to when you receive that notice of audit. So audit prep is an activity that should occur well in advance. In fact, doing a basic gap assessment, you can do a year or even 2 years in advance of saying, hey, where do we have any major shortcomings? And then going for an actual mock audit ahead of starting your audit prep or as part of your audit prep. Mock audits are fantastic. We do a ton of them at Archer. Like that's one of my favorite things to do because obviously as a former recovering auditor, they come very easy to us, are very natural. We've actually conducted a lot of audits. We do a lot of mock audits, and that's a way for you as an entity to really understand how is the auditor going to look at this. We've been in that chair before. We can tell you the auditor is going to ask you about this. They're going to take issue with that. We've advised so many clients ahead of their audits through a mock audit engagement, reviewing evidence, doing data requests. How are you responding to those? A lot of that prep work will serve you very well going into your actual audit. Other audit prep activities, you take specific processes and or reports that need to be run. Let's go through a dry run of running a report on access management, for SIP 4. Actually go through those motions before it's actually time to produce that report in response to a data request so that you're ready. So doing some dry runs on some of that goes a long ways when it comes to actual audit time. So by the time you get your notice, if you do things right, you will have everything in order. You will know where your weaknesses are. You know where you need to develop better narratives. You'll know everything about it. You'll have very few surprises going into an actual audit if you do things right in the prep. You really prepare like you play, or prepare even better. We oftentimes do a lot of interviews in audit prep, and that's something that some folks really don't understand. Like, oh, why do you do all these interviews and everything? Man, there's so much that goes on in those interviews that if you start to trip up, who's going to step in to hit the pause button or say, hey, we want to have a caucus. You have all those things coordinated ahead of time. When you go into your actual audit, it's 100 times better. We've been there alongside tons of entities, going into audits, supported them during the audits, had great success. So I encourage you to think about your audit preparations, think about starting them sooner, and obviously bring in the expertise like myself. Or if you don't like me, you can have Brent Castanetto come in, or maybe Leonard Chamberlain. We call him the Dark Lord of the SIP because his interview skills are second to none. So if you really need some good audit prep, reach out to us. We're happy to help, always just a few electrons away. Thanks for joining us for another On Target, and we'll talk to you soon.
Stay up to date on all the videos we release here at Archer by clicking on the subscribe button. Click on the bell to be notified right away when we release new videos. Secure your company with Archer today. Visit us at archerint.com and reach out with an email or a phone call. Is there a topic or question you'd like for us to answer? If so, leave it in the comments below and tune in each Monday for a brand new episode of On Target with Archer.